Number 5. This question we've been given the original root function, and it's just some random function. It has an input and output, and it gives us this picture, and we have to figure out what the translated function notation is going to be. So first thing is I want to make sure that I know how to I identify the key points here. So I'm going to show a table of values. So I have -8, 0. It looks like that's -5 and 3. That looks like to be -2, +3. We should keep track of that 0, 0 point. And we have 2, -3, and 5, -3. So these are our key points. Now we can use any one of these points to figure out our transformation, because all we've done is shifted this. So I'm just going to arbitrarily choose this point here. Okay, so that coordinate is going to be -5, -3, and that coordinate has been transformed. I'm just going to do a table here, a new table. That coordinate now is at -4 and -1. So what's the transformation been? So I need to keep track of my transformation here. So my change in x from that coordinate is going to be +1. So when I do my notation, my f of x notation should go from +1, and I'm going to show this slightly differently. I'm going to call this my new coordinate. Sorry, this is going to be my new coordinate is going to be equal to the old coordinate +1, and then I'm just going to reverse it by just solving for the other x here. So I'm going to go -1. And I'm going to call this my action. Okay, so this is what happened. This is my notation, because what I write in my notation is exactly opposite of my action. I can actually algebraically do this by undoing this calculation. So this is what's going to go into my notation. So when I write my f of x notation, it's going to look like this. Y equals f of is going to be x minus 1. Okay, now we didn't have to do all that work to get the x minus 1, because we can see that the transformation was +1, and we do all our notation and our changes in opposites. We just reverse that +1 to -1. We also have to do our change in y. So the change in y is going to be equal to went from +3 to -1, so went down 4. So on the outside, I'm going to just show this as -4. We don't have to, the y's are easy, because whatever I see with the y, whatever I do with the y, my change in y is going to be equivalent to my function notation change, what I'm going to write in notation. So I've arbitrarily chosen that point of -5, 3. I could have chosen any other coordinate on here. Okay, so I could choose this one, -6. So that's going to be -7. That'll be it will be -4. Okay, I'm going to just do all my x's the same here. So I'm going to do -1, do all my x's at once. +1, +3, +6. That's the rest of my table. And I'll do all my y's. It ends up being -1, -4, -1, -1, -4, -7, -7. That will give me all my other coordinates. But again, I only use one coordinate to establish my transformation.